Darn it. We had a muted mic there. So I thought it would unmute, but no sound. I know, no sound, no sound, no sound. You can hear it now. Hi, everyone. Let's repeat, mulligan. I wish it was golf weather.
Yeah.
So meteorologist Zach Gilday, along with myself. So sorry. I had the mic on mute. Just a classic error right there.
Yeah.
That's like the old school days when you're doing Zoom and you're like, you're muted. Your mic's muted.
Yeah.
I know I didn't unmute it. Apologize.
Yeah, I saw 24 comments and I was like, wow, they're coming in.
Yeah, they're coming in. People are wondering what's going on, and that's the way we start off. I fumbled the snap. I missed the field goal wide right. We won't go there.
We can come back and win the game, though.
Pump fake. Yeah, that's right. We can win the game because we're driving down the field, fourth quarter, 2-minute warning. Literally, we were almost to the 2-minute warning. So here's what I was saying. Meteorologist Zach Gilday is doing his Fox 24 news at 9. I've got the 10 o'clock news. We made some new graphics. You already saw the radar showing precipitation that's moving in. Let's get right to it now. Now that you have mic and have sound, there's a look at that widespread freezing rain that's popping up. Zach, this is developing fast, and it's coming real quick. So there's a look at how heating cooling mega Doppler showing that precipitation moving in. Now, originally we had some dry air at the surface that was allowing things to kind of evaporate before they move in. We're still not seeing a whole lot of widespread heavy precipitation, but still you saw some little raindrops on the car hood.
That was about 1 hour ago.
Yeah. So nothing yet. We've got some people that are coming. Nothing yet, says Felix in Garfield. Let's get to it. We'll show you the latest. And again, we've got to cut this off, but we will do another Facebook Live answering all your questions, having all the latest data. And that's going to be after the 10 o'clock show. Yeah. So around 10:30. We'll continue to do that. So here's what we've got. Look at this. Hasn't stopped for about an hour north of Rogers. So there you go. Phew, that's not good.
No, definitely not dry up there.
Nope, that's not. Here's another look at a WeatherBug Network camera. This is Pinnacle Parkway Towers. So here's what we're looking at temperature-wise. Warmed up a little bit at Drake Field. Like I was saying, you can warm up in the middle of an ice storm at Drake Field, but we haven't had the heavy precipitation yet to wet bulb our temperatures. So here's a look at what we've got for the weather headlines. First of all, the 24-hour forecast showing those temperatures are going to drop a little bit once that precipitation starts picking up. These are numbers that have been tweaked by us. You can see that we do climb above freezing. 40 might be a stretch, but it's possible. We're hoping. We're wishful thinking. And we do have ice accumulation that's looking very likely. Now, one of the other things, too, that's going to be a problem with the ice storm warning, as you'll see, is the winds are going to be stronger in northwest Arkansas compared to southwest sections of our weather coverage area, southeast Oklahoma. And stronger winds with lighter ice accumulation lead to more impacts. So here's a look at the weather headlines. Significant impacts are expected with icing overnight tonight, especially during the day tomorrow, when all of this precipitation to the southwest starts moving in. And boy, that's not very light, and there's no breaks in that. You don't
deep dark reds.
You don't like to see that. I know nothing yet. I promise, I know nothing yet. There's already schools that are canceling, so be sure you're checking out. Dallas will not get snow. In fact, you'll see mostly rain. Really, honestly, there's not going to be much freezing rain at all. Hazardous travel is looking likely. Widespread power outages will be possible, especially in the River Valley. And then finally, ice accumulation ranging from about, a quarter of an inch. There will be spots that pick up less, and the amounts quarter to 3/4 of an inch. There may be mounts that pick up more.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to watch that. They did due to snow, but not ice. Well, here's the deal. It hasn't happened yet. Temperature fluctuations are a little tricky. Let's look at the timing. I know you want to know timing. This is when it really starts to pick up is overnight tonight and into the early morning hours. And we'll show you that on a future track here coming up in just a bit. There's a look at the 100% chance of precipitation. Your River Valley forecast actually bumps up to 100% even sooner because obviously the farther southwest you go, the earlier it starts precipitating. Now, here's the very latest on the ice storm warnings, the winter weather advisories. All these times can vary a little bit, but we'll take off the camera off the screen. Ice storm warning is going from 10 p.m. to 3 p.m., but for northwest Arkansas, it really started at 6 p.m., goes until 3 p.m. So those times vary. Winter storm warning for southwest sections of our weather coverage area, LaFleur County. There you go. Fort Smith announced closure, and that's because it looks like a little more is happening in the river valley for ice accumulation. So, do you have the ice accumulation graphic? Yes, you do.
Right.
So here we go with ice accumulation, and then we're going to have to maybe cut it off here shortly so you can get ready for the show. We've got a lot of stuff going on with our 9 o'clock newscast. This is what we've got as of the latest ice accumulation totals. Now, I know people have said, well, this has changed from where we were earlier this afternoon. Yes, it has. It's a forecast. It will continue to be updated and change. There's still questions as to how long the temperatures will remain below freezing, but we're looking at around 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch in northwest Arkansas. Now, that's definitely some nuances and disruptions, kind of a nuisance, if you will. There's going to be a little bit more impacts that are happening, crippling potential impacts in Ozark and Clarksville with a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice. Did you know that a 1/2 inch of ice can weigh down a power line at 500 pounds or 500 pounds on a power line for a 1/2 inch of ice?
Doesn't take
for
much.
those expansions. Yeah, 500 pounds is a lot, so you got to watch that. We're not gonna. So there's a look at the river valley showing a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 inch of ice. So going to be some issues there that we've got to watch for. Here's a look at the models and the latest model information. And you're going to notice right here, we'll go step through these and then we're going to kind of shut it down. And remember, if you want to join in, oh yeah, see, you're going to have to, I guess that's good to show, but it is nice to, okay, here's the graph model. Still showing that bullseye of heavy icing in the river valley, especially northern Franklin, northern Johnson County. The European really has upticked big time. That might be a little overdone, but I don't know. That precipitation coming in looks pretty stout. So that's something to watch. The GFS doesn't develop enough precipitation.
Yeah, I think so.
And then here's a look at the NAM. So we're looking at a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch. But it still shows that bullseye. So that's what we've got. We've got to shut this Facebook Live down. I know that was short, but it was just kind of a little teaser, a little taste, if you will. Please tune in after the 10 o'clock news. We're going to dive into all the details. We'll show you the reason why we're seeing ice and not snow. We'll compare it with the 2009 ice storm. 2009 ice storm had a little bit of a deeper system, a little slower moving, and there are a lot of other stuff going on. So I did make this graphic now that you saw the icing accumulations as Zach gets ready for his show. I do want to show this because I think this is an important graphic. So this is something that we just made. I made during the last hour or so. This kind of gives you an idea of the icing impacts. This is the Sperry-Pilz index. And you'll see a 1/4 inch ice or less is kind of like a nuisance. So that means bridges will be slick. Whoa, I got to add some pause points in there, Zach.
Yeah.
So that means bridges will be slick, tree limbs will sag or break, and some power outages, even with a 1/4 inch of ice. Then you got a 1/4 to 1/2 inch disruptive, roads ice over, and roads not only icing over, but becoming rather slick and hazardous. You got tree limbs that are breaking. Power lines begin to sag and power outages become a little more likely. When you got a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, that is crippling. Roads are impassable, tree and power line damage, and many power outages. Then you've got a 3/4 of an inch to an inch where you've got devastating impacts, power outages lasting many days, and the 2009 ice storm was a level 4 and 5. So you've got wires that are coming down, high transmission power lines that are coming down, communities shut down, and outages lasting for weeks. Well, not necessarily. I mean, because it all depends on the wind and the icing accumulation. So with that being said, guys, we got to go ahead and bring it down. I know everybody's going to have different levels, and there's going to be different levels with the winds. I got to run. We'll see you guys later. Yeah. Tune in after the 10 o'clock news for all of your latest. Didn't say it was going to be a level 5 at all. It's going to be around a level 2 and a level 3. That's what we're looking at. The models were saying a level 5. But remember, that's just a computer model. Take care, guys. We'll see you later.